Hey, Zach, something to think about maybe for future ones. If there's a way that you can give us a monitor button so that we can push it, it'll turn off the broadcast so that we can talk directly to you. That's really helpful. I'm sure you guys have done that before. Oh, gotcha. Well, we'll have them for Huntington, right? So it's all good.
All right, they're gonna whoever's with Camden. Going live.
And that's the thing, I don't have my papers because Steve's supposed to get. So
we're going to start without Steve being here.
Yes, and when we get the papers, I'll
George,
each one
and they're gonna go
you're
live.
gonna spank the booty.
Spank the booty.
They're
When I
right.
get to Allie, when I get
yes.
to pronounce each one of you will have one. So
Oh,
you can
okay.
see this.
So we can
Yes.
Okay, so again, I just need to know what we're going
Okay.
to talk
Okay,
about.
so we're going to be quiet until you tell us to go.
Stutter.
All right, I'll go ahead and take over.
So
the
do you
interview.
remember when
No,
we were
yeah,
sitting
you
with
do all
Raj
the talking,
yesterday?
man.
He
I'm
was
just
talking
sitting here.
about
I'm the
different
pretty face.
consequences,
I want you to ask me the
so
question.
patriotic duty, we can kind of tie that into our patriotic duty to vote, make history again. They're making Guinness Book of World Records, so America's, inspirational,
Right.
the American ingenuity, because it's American made. Gosh, why aren't we making more things?
I know. It's all American made. We need to get back
Nigel
to that.
Hook, who is the driver for the Trump vote, he's a foreigner.
Good morning and welcome to West Palm Beach. I'm your host, Martin Sanborn, for the 2024 Gateway Marathon
Whenever
Speed
we
Record
have a
Run.
guest, I'll have to put
I'm
this
joined
in
by
and it'll look a little
Janet
wonky,
Wilson.
but I'm
Janet,
just going to
you've
leave it
been
out for
putting on
now.
this Ocean Cup for a while. We've got a big day of racing. I think
about
we're
it
going to
live.
go straight to the color guard, and the boat should be ready to come out.
That's right, Martin. I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Because I can't hear anything.
All right, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to the color guard, and we're going to get this show on the road. We've got all kinds of racing coverage. This is a 128-mile speed record run. They're going to take off here from West Palm Beach. They're going to go. They have to pass the 79th meridian. They have to make a counterclockwise turn to come back. Let's go back to the color guard.
Inlet out to West End, Grand Bahama at the 79th meridian. Making a quick turn for everybody and coming back. We have 6 boats in 4 classes that are making this attempt. First one back doesn't necessarily win. It's all based on time. I want to introduce you to and welcome the Sea Cadets from Del Rey and Boca, Florida. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallant. Say does banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, that was Suni Bezi doing the national anthem. You saw on the dock there, the teams are on the dock getting ready to get into the boats. So we're going to go over and talk about a little bit about what we're going to see here today. As I mentioned, it's 128 miles round trip. The current record is actually held by Nigel Hook in the boat that is now branded as Trump 2024. He did it in 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 4 seconds. And as we look out our window, it looks pretty flat, Janet. I think there's a really good chance that that number might get blown away today.
I think that's a high probability, although in the middle, where the Straits of Florida and the Gulf Stream, it can get a little different.
The guys were talking about testing yesterday, what it was like. It was calm in the morning, and they said it really laid down out farther. Nigel was talking about he's probably going to have to run 110, 115 miles an hour average to beat his number. Talking with the Patriotic Duty guys, they're pretty confident they're going to be able to run a pretty consistent 100 mile an hour. And if they do that, they're going to obliterate the V-bottom record as well. We'll see what it's like. The one thing about there is they were talking about they were running in a kind of a quartering swell, which is a little bit odd to do, especially in a V-bottom, the way the boat wants to kind of heel over, and when you come up the next side of the next one, you got to be careful. And at those speeds, you really have to watch a long ways ahead. Talking with Andy Copeland, he was talking about his turbine-powered boat. It's an even bigger deal for him. Those turbines just don't have the throttle response, so if he sees a bump, he's got to see it way out to pull the throttles back. It's a solid almost 2 seconds. Snatching the throttles back before it actually has any effect.
Yeah, those turbines are a lot different.
And in a V-bottom, you use that actually kind of as a brake. You use your throttle, so you pull it back, slows the props down, rolls the nose of the boat over. He's not going to have that advantage. So he actually described that once he gets the boat set at the speed, he really pretty much almost takes his hands off. And there we're looking at the turbine-powered boat right there. That's a 42-foot fountain with a pair of twin turbine helicopter motors in it. So the boat's capable of a little over 150 miles an hour.
Gosh, look at that. Sailfish Marina is absolutely beautiful. This is a top-notch marina right at the inlet. The teams are just going to be pulling out in a few minutes. They're going to go out and mill in front of Peanut Island. The helicopter will go up, and they start individually. These are individual record runs. So the first boat will go off, and then the helicopter will come back. The second boat will go, and so on.
Yep, it takes a little bit of the edge off for the racers. They can actually just focus on the run as opposed to focus on getting yourself lined up against all the other boats heading towards the first turn. We just don't have that here. These boats are going to be able to get themselves spaced out. They run their own race. They're racing against a clock. Now, I know that the guys were talking about they're going to go ahead and they're going to go ahead when they take off. The faster boats are going to try to run a little bit together for a little bit so we can see what they look like side by side. Then they're going to go ahead and take off and go from there. So, as I mentioned, it's 128 miles round trip as we're looking at Nigel Hook there. He's the one with his back to us.
Yeah, he's racing with Roger Norman. They did the off-road race last week. They did the Baja 500 together, so they were in the dust and the dirt on last Saturday, and this Saturday they're going to be in the water and the salt.
Well, Roger is actually the owner of SCORE, the offshore or the International Off-Road Racing Association. So he's a trophy truck champion, and they went out and got to have fun in a class last week. Got a chance to talk to them, and we'll actually get a chance to talk to. I got a chance to talk to his mother earlier, and his mother is Fran Muncy. She was the owner manager of one of the winningest unlimited hydroplane teams in history, and was also inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame. Not a lot of women in our sport. I mean, she's probably the leader, and then Betty Cook is probably the next most common, most well-known in boat racing sport. But they won 7 Gold Cup championships back-to-back with driver Chip Hanauer. So
That's right.
Number of sponsors. But we had a chance. We'll get a chance to talk to her a little bit later as we're looking at the teams getting ready to go. Some of these boats have a couple guys in them. Some of them have 3. Right now we're on board Patriotic Duty. They've got 3 guys going to run the boat, driver and throttleman up front, navigator sitting in the back. Again, that boat is powered by a pair of 1150, 1350 Mercury QC4V motors. Those are turbocharged motors. They were on top of the Ray Marine. They call it Super Fountain. That's Andy Copeland, 42-foot fountain. That's that turbine-powered boat. One thing about the turbines on that boat also, it is not shiftable underway. So once they put that thing in gear, it's got what we call crash boxes. That transmission is in gear in that direction. And when they come into dock, they'll go ahead and stop the turbine side of that motor, go ahead and shift the transmission back into another gear, and then if they need to maneuver the boat in reverse, they can engage that or take that brake off. So definitely a challenge. A lot of challenges going on with those kind of boats, but the reliability of turbine engines is definitely a factor that weighs in without all the reciprocating engine stuff. But you have a whole different set of things that happen when we put a turbine engine in a boat. Airflow is different as far as feeding the engine as well as cooling the engine. So looking forward to seeing how those guys do. Let's take a look at the teams that we've got running this weekend. Probably there are nostalgic and a very well-known boat, Apache number 69. Lauren Leibel is going to be driving this boat with Bobby Latham from Latham Marine, and Yaviz Savuri will be navigating that boat. That boat is a 1986 47-foot Apache prototype. And as you look at the names on the side of that boat, actually, it's got some pretty famous names from the past. Ben Kramer, Bobby Cicente. That boat has been around and seen it and done it. They actually redid the power on that boat to keep it contemporary to the period as well as far as a look and aesthetics, but they're 750 horsepower Sterling replica 496 engines. So that boat is going to be fun to watch. The very heavy V-bottom, 12,000 pounds, but those boats were made to just romp through this rough water, so looking forward to seeing how that boat does. Next, we've got Heatwave. That's a number B37. Brian Creech is the driver, throttleman, and owner. Matt Field is the navigator from Newark, California. It's a 1988 36-foot Mirage built in Florida with a pair of Mercury Bulldog 500s built by Grom Racing. Speedmaster 3 drives another heavy boat, 12,000 pounds. Then we have Patriotic Duty, number F18. Tony Adams is the owner-driver. Steve Seaton is the throttleman. And Alan Bellinghausen is the navigator and manager of the team. All from California, Pleasanton and Discovery Bay. It's a 2004 47 Outer Limits GTX with a pair of 1100 1350 Mercuries and number 8 drives. They actually set the record running from the Bay Area down to Southern California. Northern California to Southern California record last year.
That was an amazing record. So that was, we call it the Golden Gate to the Queen Mary, but they also did a dip into Marina Del Rey to pick off Bob Norsgaard's record. So let's hear from Andy.
Cody Wagner.
All right, Andy Copeland and Cody Wagner, the Ray Marine boat. Give us a little bit of understanding of what's going to happen today.
We're going to head out of the inlet here, and we're going to make an attempt to the Bahamas and back to break the world record.
What's the world record right now?
The world record's hour and 4 minutes, and we're going to try to average about 105 miles an hour and get it in an hour and 3.
How's this
we
boat?
got turbine power. Yeah. We're going to bang on this thing all day long to see what it'll do.
You said an hour and 4 minutes or 104 mile per hour?
105 is what we need to do.
We're going to do 105, okay.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are going to have some fun today.
We're going to have some fun. So this is the craziest thing I ever done in my life. I went out yesterday for my first trip, believe that or not, as a wheelman. Caught my first 100 mile per hour jumping a 41-foot boat out of the water. Words can't explain it. You cannot explain it. The ride is not that bad. We're wishing for good seas today. Hands down, got the fastest boats. So smooth seas are our friend.
Well, Cody, give me a little bit of an understanding of what happens inside the cockpit. You have a throttle man and a driver, which is a steering wheel man, right?
Yes, sir. Andy's the wheel man. He's the busy man in the boat. He's got to watch the tabs, the trim. He's got to monitor all of everything that the turbines are putting out. All I got to do is look at a screen and make sure I go straight and hold the wheel straight.
So let's go ahead and ask Andy, how is it being in sequence with your co-driver?
You know, it's actually the biggest part of this team is the communication between us and knowing what each other are doing at the same time. He's got to key into my clues, whether I'm saying drift right or turn right. You know, he's really got to key into what I'm telling him to do and how to stay straight and what path we're heading on. So working as a team in this boat is paramount to making sure we're successful at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for letting us follow you. We're going to be able to sit in the cab with you, so you guys going real fast. I appreciate it, boys.
Absolutely.
Good luck today.
Thank you for what you
Enjoy the ride.
Thanks for hooking us up with the feed inside.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
That was Andy Copeland and Cody Wagner. You know, what he was talking about, that driver throttlement thing, that is a big deal. That really is the secret of offshore powerboat racing. And when you get down to it, there's really only one other sport that I'm aware of that has that kind of coordination between two guys in a motor vehicle, and that's rally racing. And the best way I can describe it is imagine that we're going to go out and we're going to run in your car. I'm going to be running the gas pedal. I may not necessarily be able to see where we're going. You're going to be driving it, but we're going to be doing it at 100 miles an hour on a surface that's moving in traffic. That's what it's like. So the coordination between those guys has to go beyond talking on an intercom system. It has to go to the point where when you're going into a turn as the throttleman, you need to know that your driver's thinking like he's got his foot on the pedal, and as you as the driver have to know that the throttleman's going to set the boat up right for you to make the turn.
And there are no brakes.
And there are no brakes. There are no brakes. It is definitely a unique sport that takes a different kind of individual to do it, and there's a lot of trust, and you have to have that experience with the guy. And the challenge for those guys, as he mentioned, you know, he'd had his first 100-mile-an-hour boat ride yesterday. He's hopping in this boat. Just, you talk about getting thrown right from the frying pan into the fire. This guy is going to get baptized by fire in this event.
They're going to have a great time. So the patriotic duty team, I don't know if you can see that there's a third seat in there. They contacted me to do the NorCal to SoCal, the Golden Gate to Queen Mary, running down the coast here. And I said, well, why don't you do a smaller race first, do the Huntington Beach around Catalina. They did that, and then they decided we need a navigator. Because when you're on the side of land...
Thanks for joining us today.
I'm Michelle Posey.
I'm Brianna Posey.
And I'm Demi Stracco. We are on Patriot TV Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We are here because we've got some wonderful power boats. But guys, we like to always start by saying something kind of fun. So I just want to know if you were a power boat.
What would your name be if you were a powerboat? Start down here.
D-Smash.
D-Smash.
D-Smash? How did you think of that so fast?
Just now. D-Smash. Smack the booty.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. What would mine be?
Well, think about it. You're in the water, right? What happens? Your boat is thrusting against the waves, right? That's why I said smash. And D for me.
I feel like you'd be like
Smash.
bee thresher or something like that.
Okay.
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 Oh, see, I was gonna just do something really lame like Mama Bear, you know, like with a scratch. Like I will scratch.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
I like that.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Maybe that was what it will say. I'm lost.
Just say, don't follow me. I'm lost too.
Oh gosh. GPS.
go with that.
Oh my
I love that.
Oh my
Guys,
gosh.
our wonderful show, The Homefront, is really a panel of women who get the freedom to talk about all of those things that you don't normally get to hear on mainstream. I almost said lamestream media, but you know, if you want to hear about topics about the home, our home front, maybe it's about our military or our economy, things that are happening to our children in schools. We just like to have that platform to openly talk about those topics. We're going to be here all day as we see the boats come flying by. They're actually going to come right behind us.
Oh my gosh.
This is so exciting.
I wonder if we'll get splashed.
They can splash me. It is hot out here.
It is. It's warm.
Yeah.
Girl, it's hot.
Helicopter alert.
Here comes another one coming
I
through.
know, they've been coming through.
Guys, we're going to send it back to the Ocean Cup. We'll be right back with more of the home front. See ya. Oh, we're staying here because that's where all the action is. Can I ask you, ladies, we had the opportunity, what you don't know is that we had the opportunity to go behind the scenes to see some of the boats.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh yeah, we got to
wonderful
go
was
inside the
that? What was your-
cockpit.
We'll be back with more of that. We're gonna be
Yeah, this is currently the world's fastest ocean boat. It's hopefully we'll break the record today and get it even higher. But last year it averaged about 104 miles an hour to the Bahamas and back. This is a 52-foot Mystic catamaran, and it's got power by twin Mercury 1350 horsepower quad cam 4-valve engines, and it's been rigged by Herb Stotler engines. And it's a fantastic boat. It set several records on the East Coast and the West Coast. So yeah, I couldn't pick a better ride to be in today. This boat is all carbon, all epoxy, pre-preg. It's very, very strong and very, very fast.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see you guys go out there and do that. We were just talking with the Ray Marine boat, and they were saying how excited they are. Can you give me a level of excitement about you and Roger being teamed up together this weekend?
Yeah, it's tremendous, right? Because I got a bit of an inkling of what it's like in off-road, and that's a very, very tough sport. Quite different. There's also quite a lot of commonalities. So Roger and I have gone backwards and forwards and talking about what's different between off-road and offshore. But at the end of the day, it's an adventure, right? You're racing either 500 miles through Baja, or you're racing 126 miles to Bahamas and back. You never know what's out there. It's not like circuit racing where you're going lap over lap over lap. This is incredible. You know what? The reason these races have become less popular in the past is because they brought the races into the shore so people could watch. Now with this technology from Score International that Roger's developed in the Score International series for Baja 1000, Baja 500, we're running these Starlink systems connected to all the SpaceX satellites on this race boat. So we'll be streaming live as we go there from the cockpit and from the helicopters all the way there and back. So the public can actually tune in and go to the race of 2024. And that's where you'll be able to see the live stream.
Yeah, thank you very much for telling all the public, man. We can't wait to see you guys and ride along with you, Nigel. Have a great race.
Thank you, George.
And that was Nigel Hook on the Trump 2024 boat. I do like the number on that boat, number 47. So looking forward to him being number 47 after being number 45. That's my take on the scenario. Here we're on board Patriotic Duty as they are on their way out. So they're going to get themselves staged over by Peanut Island and get them set to go. So, Janet, tell us about what order the boats are going to take off, how you guys set that up. Normally poker runs, we usually let the faster boats go first so that they're not blowing through the slower boats. How are you guys doing it?
Well, we normally let the pilots decide because, again, this is an at-will start, but I give them some guidance, and so we've chosen to have the slowest boats go first. So we're going to start off with the heat wave boat. However, I've been, I stand corrected here. I apologize. The fountain is going to go first because they're running the turbines and the jet fuel, and they burn through a lot of fuel every minute they're idling. It's more efficient to be running than it is to be idling. So as soon as they push off, the helicopters will go up, and we're going to have some fantastic helicopter footage through the Starstream system and the stream boxes that Georgia's company has put up. It's absolutely amazing. Like Nigel was saying earlier, it's going to change the sport, having Starlink and streaming from the videos. So the plan is to have the fountain go first. The second boat was going to be the Apache. The reason the Apache is going second is because we need to have a gap between boats that are in the same class. The Apache and the Outer Limits are competing directly for the same record. The Class B V-Hull greater than 45 class. So that's the Apache and the Outer Limits, so we'll see who can set the record. They both raced last year. The Outer Limits had a problem where they got seaweed in their strainers, and luckily, because the engines were overheating, they found out they had a hose leaking and they were filling up the bilge. So that was kind of fortuitous, otherwise they'd be carrying a lot of water. Coming up third is going to be Heat Wave. Heat Wave had a problem last night, and I'll just say that the race-winning brands, Ed Wendt and Bill McComb, worked with them until 4 in the morning. The teams, those two teams worked together to make sure Heat Wave could make the start. They're going to have to stop for fuel. I'm not sure if they'll be third off or not, but that's the plan. They'll be third off. Fourth off is going to be race-winning brands, and that's Ed Wendt and Bill McComb and the skater, the Spider-Man 2 boat, which has been rebranded a few times. We're super excited to see how this boat runs because this is certainly their water. And then the next start will be Patriotic Duty, followed by Trump. So that is the starting order.
Well, let's take a look at what the records are currently. In cats greater than 45 feet, as we mentioned, that is going to be Nigel Hook in the record, and that is the Trump boat today. He did it in 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 4 seconds with an average speed of 102.31 miles an hour. In the less than 30-foot V-bottom, Revelation Racing holds the record. They were at 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 29 seconds, averaging 59.31 miles an hour.
I'll just interject, that was a father-daughter team.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned that the Patriotic Duty didn't finish, had a problem. Apache ended up winning last time, so they have the record in V-bottoms over 45 feet at 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 13 seconds, averaging 79 miles an hour. And then we had a center console run. Center console 35 to 40 feet. A fountain did it in 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 14 seconds, averaging 69.67 miles an hour. So we don't have any center consoles running this in this particular race. So we have the Apache, Heat Wave Racing, Patriotic Duty. Rolling Vengeance didn't make here, and we'll talk a little bit about Rick Beluga Wheels. He's had some medical problems, and we certainly wishing him the best, and I know he wishes he was here. But he didn't make it here because of that. Andy Copeland and Cody Wagner in Super Fountain 47. That is the Ray Marine boat. Trump 2024 47, Nigel Hook and Roger Norman. And then we have race-winning brands number 11. That's Bill McComb and Ed Wendt, and that is in a 40-foot skater V-hull. As we're on board Ray Marine, that's the throttleman's seat. So I was looking at that boat, how they reset that boat from when it ran as a stern drive piston-powered engine boat. And this boat was built by Skater, but they changed everything over. I like how they used
it worked with me.
systems, but they had to add all the instrumentation for the turbines, but they also take away a lot of the instruments you just don't need that relate to
Hey guys, we're back
a
here
piston engine. So that top row of instrumentation you see at the top,
we
that's
are
everything related.
out here for the Ocean Cup 2024. You know, we've got many boats that are competing, but I want to bring on a special guest right now. We have with us remotely Ann Vandersteel. She is, get this guys, you always get the behind the scenes footage here on the home front, but Ann is going to be awake to her. She's stage. Hi, Ann. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us on the home front.
Oh my goodness, Michelle, great to be with you ladies this morning. What a great day. You all down on the water in Palm Beach in my stomping grounds. That's my neck of the woods. I'm out here in Detroit, Michigan right now at the Reawaken America tour. The speakers are amazing. Yesterday was electric. You had Eric Trump here, Rudy Giuliani here, Alina Habba here. And I mean, and so many more incredible speakers. I'm actually speaking at 11 today, so it's the crowd is packed, absolutely packed.
What we're seeing here, Ann, is a lot of just American pride and a lot of American spirit. People are happy to be out and championing these boats that are made here in America. Tell us a little bit about what you're hearing there at the Reawaken Tour. I know a lot of people are probably just looking for inspiration and what can we do to get involved to save our country, right?
Yeah, and that's really what this tour has always been about, reawakening America, getting people engaged in their civic duty. I mean, we have to really kind of take a pause for a minute and get back to the basics, right? Our Bible is our foundational law book, and God gave man dominion over the earth. And look at this, these beautiful, incredible boats are mastering and conquering the great Atlantic Ocean, running back and forth across the water. And man is here on the land, as we are here at Reawaken America, and we are to subdue everything on the land. Man is to be in control. And so this is the message that we're getting today. We're showing that man is indefatigable and that God has given us the power to go and pursue our dreams. And here at Reawaken America, we're getting the same inspirational messaging. We're getting the truth, and we're also getting the fact that, again, it's up to we the people, as our God-ordained constitutional documents have been telling us for over 248 years. We the people are the government, and we're here to subdue the government and put the government back in check and get them to work for us. Very similar to how these incredible men, Nigel Hook and Roger Norman, are on the water right now, getting to subdue the ocean and subdue the machinery that's going to send them flying across the Atlantic at high speed. So, I mean, this is just an inspirational day all around.
I love that, Ann. You know, our home front audience, a lot of times, ladies, we have a lot of questions, right? We watch the news or we'll read something and we're not really sure if we understand a lot of the big issues that are at taking place right now in our country. I love following you because of the way you follow what's happening at the southern border. What kind of updates can you give us on what you've heard and what you've witnessed? I know Biden apparently signed an executive order saying that he's going to only allow, what is it, 2,500 illegals, which is still not closing the border. So tell us what's going on down there.
You know, again, this is where the sleight of hand has been coming in. Just to set the stage, Michael Yan and I have an operation called Operation Burning Edge. It's really a force multiplication effort of independent media to put a spotlight on what's been going on at the border for the past year, actually for the past many years since Biden took over and became the illegitimate regime in 1600 Pennsylvania. What we're seeing is clearly just usurpation of our freedoms, of our Constitution. And it doesn't matter what Biden says because they're not adhering to anything that he says. He's basically a meat puppet at the mercy of the World Economic Forum and the United Nations, which again, by all directives, is showing us that we don't have a constitution, and they are literally destroying our country by moving all these weaponized human migration immigrants into our country. They're illegal aliens, they're invaders. And they've actually now bypassed the border on foot based on the accounting of what we're seeing, and they're flying them directly in the country. We were so effective down in the Darien Gap, Michelle, that we actually helped get a president elected in Panama whose whole premise was, I'm going to close the Darien Gap, where you have millions of people streaming across, coming in from the Darien Gap. So, I mean, this is you can't pay attention to anything that Biden says. You just have to ignore it, and you have to use your eyes and use your common sense. And you have to read, because the government is publishing exactly what they're doing. They're going to tell you we're flying these people in, and they're happy to tell you that they're now, oh, look at this, these guys are really cruising. I want to